Hey everyone, it's Dr. Lang at Clear Sound Audiology in Gainesville, Florida. Today we are going to be doing an unboxing of a generic amplifier. A lot of times our patients come in and ask us, what's the difference between your hearing aids and supposed hearing aid amplifiers that we can find at Walmart or any type of drugstore, because there's obviously a huge price difference. So we just kind of wanted to go through some of those differences and kind of let you know as a consumer what you could potentially be getting if you were to purchase one of these at a drugstore. So like I said, we got this at one of our local drugstores. I think the price was $17.99. You see that it is rechargeable, which is actually kind of a newer feature that we've seen, and it's just for one device. It says that it can amplify sound up to 30 times. Not exactly sure what all that means, because if you hear a really loud sound, I don't know if you want that 30 times louder. And it says here that this can be made for the right or the left ear, so I guess you can switch it out. It comes with different size silicone earbuds, which we'll show you. It says it's comfortable, ultra small, and lightweight. So I guess we'll get started and see what's inside. Okay, so I've cut around the edges and got this thing opened up. So let's see what we have in here. Looks like there's some instructions. So this looks like the charger base and the plug. Still haven't found the actual device yet. Warnings. Should probably read that in close detail. Looks like it comes with a cleaning brush. And here are the interchangeable buds, which we can show closest in a little bit. And finally, so I doubt it will already be charged, but this is the device. I'm going to wipe it down and I'll probably go ahead and put it in my ear so you guys can see what that looks like. But this looks like a long wire, so it's not a tubing. This part looks like it rotates, so I guess that's how you can make it for the left or the right ear. There is an on-off switch, and then what looks like a volume wheel, so how you can adjust the volume from like 1 to 4. And then these look like they pop off pretty easily to change them out. So let me turn them on. It is on. I'm going to turn the volume down and then go ahead and put it in my ear, so I don't want to blast myself out. Okay, so, So I have a small ear, obviously, and you can see this wire is probably a little bit too long for me, and that's something that you can't adjust on here, is that length of that wire. So it's really just kind of flopping off the top of my ear. Not really sure if there's anything I can do to make it not flop. If you're having to wear this with a mask at the grocery store, I can see that being a real issue. But yeah, it's not staying in very good. I have the volume setting on 1 right now, and really all the difference that I'm hearing right now is just my voice. So I know that there's somebody talking down the hallway, but I'm not hearing them in this ear, I'm hearing them in that ear. And those are probably the types of sounds that people with hearing loss are wanting to hear are distant sounds as opposed to hearing their own voice. So I'm gonna try turning it up. The volume wheel is a little sticky, so it's kind of actually hard to turn. And I don't want to turn it too loud and blast my hearing. So I have the volume turned up a little bit. Hey, Dr. Lerman.
Hi.
Oh.
Can you hear me okay?
Try again.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
You sound a little louder. All right. Well, first impressions, the earpiece itself fits okay. Well, that's really loud now that it's by my mouth. So with the interchangeable buds, I mean, that's nice, but the length of this is not, and it's pretty floppy, and so it's hard to get it to kind of stick on my ear without it also sticking out. The sound doesn't sound terrible. I also don't have hearing loss though, so it does just sound like a straight amplifier as if I'm listening to a microphone. But those are kind of my first impressions so far. So there was a picture on the box of a woman wearing it. So I guess they kind of had the wire pointed down so that it can loop back around, and that's kind of the way that you can make it so that the wire's not completely sticking out, but it still is pretty bulky and awkward back there. Comfort-wise, it's not terrible, but it doesn't look the greatest. Okay, so I just wanted to show you a close-up of the device. So you have your on and off switch here. Here's your volume wheel. It starts at 1 and then you roll it up. It is pretty sticky, so I'm having to kind of work pretty hard to roll it up to all the way up to 4 is the loudest. When I was changing the volume in my ear, I didn't hear any audible beeps letting me know that the volume was actually changing or what I had the volume set to. There is just one microphone here, so that's really important to think about. Most modern day hearing aids have a front and a back microphone so that it can help reduce noise from certain areas. So like noise from behind you, it doesn't eradicate the background noise, but it can kind of turn that noise down as opposed to the sounds that are coming in front of you. So with just the one microphone, the hearing aid will have a hard time doing that. So it's going to kind of evenly amplify all the sounds around you. Here's that wire, and then this is the piece that was in my ear. And that is that. I'm going to show you, and then there's a little piece in here. So this is the charging base. It feels super lightweight. I don't know if you can tell by hearing how hollow it is, but then there's that corresponding piece in there. So I guess it just sticks right in there. And then you would plug the charger in. The light will flash once it's charging. And then I guess this just hangs out. So there's really no way to protect this part to keep it sanitary if it's just sitting out on your desk like so. Going into the manual, it said that the charging time could be maybe 8+ hours. I was confused if that was the charging time or the battery life of a full charge. It was 8+ hours. Another thing that we noticed that it says on the box itself that it's not a substitute for a hearing aid, and it's not intended for use by somebody with a hearing impairment, which are all of our patients. But in the guide here, where did it say that? It says that it is a sound amplifier and can be used as a hearing aid alternative. So not sure which one is. They're kind of contradicting themselves there. But overall, it did kind of sound like a good straight amplifier. It was comfortable in my ear, but very bulky, and it says it charges in half the time, but I don't know half the time of what. And the last piece of paper that is included is all about arbitration and law and your rights to be able to bring a case against them. I don't know if that's normal in most electronics. I've never actually looked into it, but the last thing is it says that it is an FDA listed device, not FDA approved, but FDA listed. Not exactly sure what one has to do to become listed with the FDA, if there's any type of requirements other than sending in paperwork.